More and more often, my patients are coming to me reporting this intense anxiety, and this one thing has been consuming their entire mental bandwidth. Perhaps this has been the case for you as well. And this is about the news. They're not just stressed and concerned, they're outraged, frightened, and just feeling very uncertain about everything. Tell me that they're waking up feeling on edge, or checking their news apps, social media, and it seems like they're constantly being bombarded by all these scary headlines. They're checking their phones first thing in the morning and go, oh, there goes my future. Of course, I'm an anxiety doctor, right? So my patients are coming to me and they're like, Doc, how do I manage this anxiety? How do I stay informed but not feel like my nervous system is constantly on fire? So today, I want to talk about something I call news hygiene. How to reduce the anxiety that comes from over-consuming the news while still staying meaningfully informed. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Dr. Robert. I'm a board-certified psychiatrist. And today, I'll be talking about how the modern news cycle hijacks your peace of mind and how to get it back. So how do I help my patients through this? Well, I'll walk you through some of the solutions. And it's not denial, it's not putting your head in the sand, but it is about intentionality. So first things first, we start with awareness. How is this actually manifesting in your life? How much time are you finding yourself spending on news checking? When does it come up most often? Is it when you wake up in the morning and kind of start your day scrolling through news feeds? Is it before going to bed? Is it throughout the day? Is it at work? Is it commuting to work or back from work? So track the patterns and then also ask yourself, how much mental space is this taking up? Has it improved my life, increased my agency, or has it increased my sense of helplessness? Because anxiety thrives when our brains are on autopilot. And change requires awareness. So the first intervention I recommend to my patients is creating news windows. So instead of binging on news throughout the day, every day, how about picking out the time? Maybe 30 minutes in the afternoon, 30 minutes after dinner. How about 20 minutes every other day or an hour every 2 days? Whatever works for you, but the goal here is having a very limited amount of time, having a constricted time frame that you dedicate to this, and outside of that time frame, you're excluding the news. Whatever happens in the world does not concern you. You've been informed, you dedicated yourself to it during that window, and now you're free. And what you're doing here is you're teaching your brain not to constantly be monitoring or hypervigilant to the news. Because always in the background, right, there's this sense, should I check? Or just this reflexive checking as well. And this is teaching your brain that, I've consumed my news and now I can get back into living life. I can get back into the present moment, being with the people around me. And if something happens, I'll find out tomorrow when I'm checking the news again. But that'll be that 20-minute increment, 30-minute increment, whatever it is. But right now, I'm engaging with life as it is. Of course, the first few times people try this, their anxiety does tend to spike. They feel a bit off, they feel anxious, they feel an urge, a craving to check the news, pull their phone out. And sometimes they do just reflexively. But the goal is kind of going back to the idea of, if you do catch yourself, that's okay. You just go back to put the phone away, put the app away, close it out, and you'll go back tomorrow when it's your news checking time. And slowly your brain will start to recalibrate. We'll start to learn that I don't need to constantly be thinking about the news, worrying about what's going on or what I just learned about. I can be informed and then also engage in life as it is. And that can offer a lot of freedom to people. The next skill involves some cognitive reframing. And this is practiced in between your scheduled news times. And it involves you asking yourself, is there anything I can do right now or that this piece of information would change in my life if I knew it now compared to tomorrow at this time? And usually the answer is no. There's nothing you can do this very immediate moment that would change world events, or there is nothing that you can do that will change things if you know it now versus later. So you can mentally label that, not actionable right now, and refocus on what it is you're doing. Sometimes people will have to do this dozens of times when they're still getting used to it. Oftentimes it'll be silly because you can ask yourself, is the geopolitical crisis happening right now important? Probably. It is an important thing. Absolutely. It's affecting many people's lives. But is there any action you can take at your desk at work at 2:17 right now? Chances are no. And so the only potential that news story has for you is to stress you out, distract you from your life, your present, your loved ones, and there's nothing you can do about it anyway. So save that moment, save that information for when you're actually dedicating your attention to it. Don't let it infiltrate your attentional bandwidth all day, every day, because too often your brain confuses monitoring information with a sense of control, and this starts to help untangle it. Next skill we talk about is noticing the urge and not obeying it. And this can be a very tough one, but a very, very important one. So when you feel the urge to check your phone, tell yourself, I feel that urge. I want to check that news story, check up on if there are any updates to it. But then telling yourself, I feel the urge to check. I'm acknowledging that urge. I'm acknowledging that desire, that kind of compulsive, addictive, almost need to do it. But you're also then telling yourself, okay, I noticed it, but again, I don't need to check right now. I'm not going to obey it this time. Maybe in a few minutes, few hours, few days, I'll give in, but right now I'm not going to do it. And delaying that urge. Because most urges kind of peak and then reduce. Well, it might still be there, but the intensity of it reduces. And so teaching your brain to just wait and hold off for a little while and notice it, but not act on it, can also start to rewire your brain. Next thing I talk to people about is shifting from information to engagement. What I mean here is if you care about an issue deeply, stop trying to constantly learn more about it, over-consume news on it, because, right, again, that's not getting you anywhere, just driving the anxiety. How about actually doing some engagement, whether that be volunteering to help a cause or getting engaged with some social movements, organizations that align with your values. Meet with actual people who share your concerns and not just engaging with them online, because action reduces a sense of helplessness and community reduces a sense of isolation. And both regulate anxiety far, far better than scrolling on your phone. Because sure, news can make you feel kind of connected, but it also leaves you feeling very alone. And community does the opposite. It creates connection, creates meaning, creates a sense of initiative, purpose, and just overall the social interactions with others reduces that hopelessness. And oftentimes people will tell me, they'll feel less need to check on news stories, feel less preoccupied by these issues if they're able to discuss them and act on them with other people. And they just feel less hopeless. Final tip I talk about is reclaiming your attention. And I talk about this a lot on this channel because I think it's so, so important. Because too much in the modern world, our brains have been trained outwardly. Our attention has been seized by global events, things way beyond our control. But the good news is we can retrain our attention, our minds to focus in on our immediate reality, on the things that actually matter day to day to each and one of us. That means reconnecting with people returning to hobbies, getting offline from time to time, or as much as you possibly can. Just kind of trying to do things in the real world because, as you can probably imagine, right, your day-to-day world is much safer than whatever you see on the news going on in the world. This is not ignoring the world or the important things that are happening in it. Rather, it's strengthening your capacity to inhabit reality, your life. And remember, your nervous system feels most settled in the present moment, not tomorrow's headlines. So let me leave you with this. Staying informed is reasonable. Caring about the world is healthy. Staying engaged is admirable. But constant vigilance is not the same thing as responsibility. Your nervous system was not designed for 24/7 global threat exposure. So consume intentionally, stop deliberately, and act locally. So if this video resonated with you, if you feel like you've been struggling with managing what's going on in the news and its impact on your anxiety, definitely let me know your experiences down below. Maybe there are some things I didn't mention that have helped you that you think might be useful to others, or perhaps you have some questions for me, or even future video ideas. I always greatly appreciate any comments. Please like and subscribe, hit the notification button. It really means a lot to me. Still a new YouTube channel, and I appreciate you for sticking around to the end. Thanks, and see you next time.